Hey everybody. So I wanted to jump on today and talk a little bit about February 1st, which is referenced as Candlemas or St. Brigid's Day. It is also Imbolc or Brigid's Day. So let's talk about what that is. Usually I do a community or group service or some sort of communal spell. Unfortunately, this year I'm not going to be able to do that, but you should still definitely incorporate it into your practice. So, what is it? So, it is an ancient Celtic tradition. You know, Brigid is the goddess of fertility, fire, healing, smith crafting, poetry. And it is a celebration. It's the halfway point between the longest night and the longest day of the year, right? Winter solstice and spring equinox. And it is all about purification and preparing for growth. Now, at some point, it was Christianized and it turned from a celebration of Brigid and fertility and renewal and purification to Candlemas, which is also a beautiful festival. It's a festival of light. The name is in the belly of the mother, so it represents the pregnant earth, right? As we go into spring, which it doesn't feel like we're getting close to spring if you're in the upper Midwest. We're actually under some kind of crazy like frostquake watch, and like they're talking about trees exploding because it's like 40 to 60 below zero. So it definitely doesn't feel like spring is around the corner, but it is. So this is a time of the year, especially February 1st, where a lot of rituals involve deep spring cleaning, just kind of out with the old and with the new. Lots of firework, candle work, bonfires if you live in a place where it's safe to do that and you're not going to die if you're outside for more than 5 minutes. But it is purification, it's introspection, it is setting intents, through journaling, especially journaling. I know I push this all the time, you guys, but I just think it's such a great way to purge and, manifest our goals. This is a great time of the year to use amethyst, and I say that because there is that preparing for growth. It is very meditative, and amethysts do help with opening your crown chakra, activating your pineal gland, activating that third eye. So it's a good time of the year to actually start like a new yogini program if you're not already in one. Candle work, of course, white and red candles. Brigid's cross, that's a big one. It looks very, complex to create, but they're pretty easy to create. Those are usually made and hung around the home for protection this time of year. Of course, spiritual baths, that's a big thing. I gotta look at my cheat list. If you guys heard the wind, I mean, thank goodness this has like sound canceling technology built in. The wind is insane here right now. Sorry. Planting seeds, metaphorical seeds, especially if you're in the upper Midwest. You're not going to be able to plant many seeds outside right now, but planting those metaphorical seeds for growth. What are your goals? Are you doing vision boards? Are you writing about what you want to attract and bring in? Where does your fertility energy lie? What are you trying to give birth to? So planting those seeds, feasting. I think of Imbolc a lot like Maven. Very rich, hearty foods, impart their offerings, right? Their offerings to Brigid or Saint Brigid. Dairy, oats, eggs, grains. I think a lot of onions and garlics for this particular one. Painted sourdoughs. You guys know I love painted sourdoughs, and those make beautiful offerings. So yeah, milk-rich foods. I like pancakes, do a Brigid breakfast, buttermilk pancakes. That's a beautiful way to show offering and kind of take in through consumption spell work the energy of this transition. Anything with seeds, to represent fertility, you can do a lot of, very unique cakes, breads, muffins with different types of seeds. I like using the colors red, gold, and yellow, but a lot of people also use the colors white, green, and blue, so that's an option too. Like if you're going to kind of do a fancier, Imbolc feast, definitely incorporate that colorology, right? I actually bring out some of my Maven altar decorations, so like my pine cones, my bird nests. You can also use like miniatures or imagery of swans, sheep. Those fit very, very well with Imbolc. It does coincide with Groundhog's Day and Chinese New Year, which is kind of an interesting offset too. But yeah, I wanted to jump on. Some of the other things you can do, you know, for Imbolc are corn husk dolls or floral crowns. And so I wanted to show my dolls. So like these are my Imbolc corn husk dolls. You know, they look complicated, but really it just takes a lot of practice. You know, I have one here even for Candlemas. She has her little candles here. So I have quite literally tried to make this little video. Like, I can't even tell you how many times in the last hour, and somebody keeps calling or my phone keeps beeping. But anyways, Imbolc, Candlemas, February 1st, corn husk dolls. But seriously, whatever moves you, whatever is your modus operandi. Here's my little wedding ones. Aren't these adorable little wedding corn husk dolls? Anyways, the point is, it is a day of fertility, giving birth to things. If you are an artiste, if you use conjure as part of your art practice, definitely it's a beautiful day for that. And it's a beautiful day for fire, and we know how much I love fire. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up. I do apologize that we're not having the communal spell this year. Unfortunately, I just was not able to get it into the schedule with everything kind of going on. But don't worry, there'll be lots of other upcoming communal spells everybody will be able to participate in, like our Hexier X, which is coming up February 11th. It's not too late to join, and that is an amazing service because I actually use centipedes for that one. Poisonous ones, but they deserve it, right? Because fuck them. All right, stay magical.